Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about a very important topic in VLSI design, that is VLSI physical design. Actually, for fabrication of the integrated circuit or a chip, we have two type of processes. Those are front end process and back end process. Here what we are going to discuss is physical design. It is one of the back end process for fabrication of the integrated circuit. First, we are going to discuss about flowchart. It is a simple flowchart. The first step is definition and planning, and second one is design and verification, and third one is logic synthesis, and fourth one is physical design. Now we are going to discuss physical design. Now what we are discussing is physical design. It is a remember physical design is a back-end process. We have two types of the process for fabrication of ICs. Here physical design is a back-end process. That's it. And next one is sign off and tape out, and last one is silicon validation. In physical design, there are numerous stages. There are various stages involved. Those stages are design import, for planning, placement, CTS. Here CTS means clock tree synthesis, and final one and next one is routing, and finally we can get the output of the IC, right? That is finished design means after finishing design we can get the completed IC means. Here it is a simple flowchart for understanding the concept very clear, right? Now we are going to discuss about physical design. There are mainly three stages involved in physical design. Mainly three stages, that is for planning, placement, and final one is routing. Now we are going to discuss about a very first stage. That is for planning. It is a very first stage. For planning, it is the first stage in the process of the chip design. It is the first stage in the process of the chip design. Important constraints in floor planning are analysis of the die size, package selection, IO pin arrangement. Fourth one is arrangement of macro cells. Here, what are macro cells? Macro cells like memory, analog, and special cells. And fifth one is power distribution and a clock tree. And sixth one is a hierarchical separation. Now we are going to discuss one by one. What is how can we analyze the die? How we can select the package? How we can arrange the IO pin? Now we are going to discuss one by one clearly. And first one is analysis of the die size. How we can analyze the die size? How we can analyze the die size based upon the gate count. Based upon the gate count of the original netlist. Here netlist refers to the circuit. Based upon the gate count we can analyze the die size. How we can, and next one is how we can select the package. How we can select the package. Various tasks included in package selection are quantity of the IO pins, die size, power consumption, and package price. Based upon these factors, that means quantity of IO pins, die size, power consumption, and package price, we can select our required package, right? Next one is configuration of IOs and macro cells. We had already discussed it. What are macro cells means? Macro cells means we had already discussed now what are macro cells. Macro cells is just like memory cells, like analog and other types of the cells. Next, the quantity of the chip design and routability of chip are dependent of IO configuration. The quality of the chip is directly dependent of the IO configuration. The placement of remaining standard cells and macros are linked with the IO configuration. It is a brief discussion about the configuration of IOs and macro cells. And next one is power distribution network. Power distribution network, it is very important. It is also known as a power plant or power structure. It is a power distribution network is also called a power plant. It is also called power structure. What power distribution network do? Mainly the main task of power distribution network is See here, it delivers required power. It delivers required power to all transistors in a chip. What is the main task of power distribution network? Means it delivers the power to all transistors in a chip to function throughout their lifetime, and it also prevents the problem of voltage drop, that means IR drop, and electromigration. It also prevents the problem of voltage drop and electromigration. What is power distribution network main task is? It delivers the powers to all transistors in a chip. It also prevents the problem of the voltage drop. What is CTS? CTS means clock tree synthesis. We had already discussed it in flowchart. Clock tree synthesis. A clock tree synthesis is a process which makes sure that clock gets distributed evenly to all sequential elements in a design. We have two types of the elements, sequential elements and combinational elements. Here clock gets distributed equally to all sequential elements in a design. That means clock tree synthesis means? Clock tree synthesis is a process which makes sure that clock gets distributed evenly to all sequential elements in a design. That means in a chip, clock gets distributed evenly. Next one, the design of the chip. The design of the chip is characterized as IO limited, core limited, block limited, and package limited. These are the four, mainly four. In IO limited, that means in IO design, size of the die is based upon the number of input and outputs and their placement in IO design. In core limited, core area determines the chip size. In block limited, size of the blocks. In block limited, size of the blocks determines the chip size. In package limited, package determines the chip size. It is very easy to remember. In IO design, the size of the die. The size of the die is based upon the number of IOs and their placement. In core limited, core area determines the chip size. In block limited, size of the blocks determines the chip size. In package limited, package selection determines the chip size. Up to now we are finished the floor planning. Now we are going to entering into a new topic, that is placement. We had already discussed mainly three stages, that is floor planning, placement, and routing. First one is finished for planning, and second one, that we are going to discuss now, placement. A placement is a method of placing the cells present in the netlist. We had already discussed what is netlist. Netlist means circuit at relevant positions inside the chip floor plan. What is placement means? It is the method of placing the cells at the relevant positions inside the chip. What is placement means? Placing the cells at relevant positions inside the chip. It influences the speed and performance of the system. Placement quality is mainly based on the three factors. Important: area of the layout, routing completion, performance of the circuit. Placement quality of the placement is mainly depends upon the three factors, that is area of the layout, routing completion, and performance of the circuit. And next one is optimization in a placement. How we can achieve the optimization in a placement? Optimization in placement is achieved by employing timing driven placement method. By employing timing driven placement method, we can achieve the optimization in the placement. That makes the layout tools. It can make the layout tools in placing the cells. How we can achieve the optimization? How we can achieve the optimization in placement means by using the method called timing driven placement method. By using this method, we can achieve the optimization in the placement. That makes the layout tools in placing the cells. A clock tree is inserted after placement by using the layout tool. Clock tree is inserted by using the layout tool. These are the some description. It is somewhat some description about the placement. Conventional methods of routing can be used for reduction of total delay after the placement. Conventional methods of routing can be used for reducing of the delay. And next one is the given netlist. Netlist means circuit. Netlist is nothing but circuit. The given netlist does not contain information of clock tree, including buffers and nets. Hence, it has to be reinserted in the netlist using corresponding layout tool. For ideal placement, it is very important. For ideal placement, utilization rate is 100%. Utilization rate is 100%. However, in real time, it is less than the 100 because of using the filler cells. It is not possible to achieve the utilization rate is 100%. It is actually in real time applications it is less than the 100%. Poor placement may result in complex routing and also increase the area needed for components, which is undesirable. Poor placement. There are two types of placement here, poor placement and good placement. Poor placement may result in the complex routing and also increase the area for needed for the components, which is undesirable, which is poor placement is undesirable always. Remember, poor placement is undesirable. We have always choose for good placement. In floor planning, some of the here it is a differences between the floor planning and placement. Whenever in examination they had asked write the differences between floor planning and placement, we have to write the major differences. In floor planning, some of the blocks may be flexible and exact locations of the pins are not fixed. Exact locations of the pins are not fixed. Some blocks may be flexible, but in placement, blocks are assumed to be a well-defined geometrical shape. They have a particular geometrical shape and with defined pin locations. They had a fixed pin locations in placement. And next one is third one. It is third one. We had completed floor planning as well as placement. Now we are entering into routing. What is routing? The physical connections are made by routing. It is important. It is the main definition of routing. What is routing means? Physical connections are made by using the routing. The process of physical interconnection of terminals with each net present in netlist within confined area is known as routing. It is the actual definition. The simple definition is physical connections are made by using the routing, which is just simple one. It is the actual definition. Next, routing considerations. Routing has to be carried out in a confined area. Nets must not be short circuited since they are not intersected electrically. Types of routing. There are mainly two types of routing, that is global routing and detailed routing. First one, type 1. It is the global routing. In global routing, the region to be routed are divided into sectors. Global routing, the region is divided into sectors. In global routing, region is divided into sectors. Sectors, sometimes also called tiles, sometimes also called rectangles, is called global routing. What is global routing? Global routing, which is the region which is to be routed is divided into sectors. It is called global routing. Right? Global routing. And next one. The routing capacity of each G cell. See here, each G cell. Here G cells mean global routing cell. The routing capacity of each G cell depends on the blockages, routing tracks, pin density inside it. And next one is global routing is implemented by using the two methods. It is very important. That is a sequential routing and hierarchical routing. There are two methods for implementation of the global routing. Those methods are sequential routing method and hierarchical routing method. Why these methods are necessary means for calculation of the actual path length between the nets. It is very important. Global routing is affected by poor placement as it increases the timing of the design. Simply we have to remember what is global routing means. The region to be routed are divided into small sectors. It's called global routing. What are the main objectives of global routing means? Minimize the total overflow, minimize the total wire length, minimize total runtime for carrying out routing processes. Detailed routing. Now we are going to discuss a second one, that is the detailed routing. We have finished global routing. The second one is detailed routing. It is used for determination of the exact location and layers of each component for each interconnect between the nets and each cell. For determination of the exact location and layers for each interconnect between the nets and each cell. It is the last step performed by the layout tool. Layout tool can be used for multiple purposes. It is one of the last step performed by the layout tool. It is what is detailed routing means. It is used for determination of the exact locations. Objectives of detailed routing: decreasing total interconnect path length and area, reducing the delay of critical paths. These are the main objectives of detailed routing. We have discussed about foreplanning. Next one is placement. Next one is routing. We have finished 3. And here we have 2 types of problems. In physical design, we have 2 types of the problems. That is power distribution challenges and clock distribution challenges. Now we are going to discuss power distribution challenges or power distribution problems. What are power distribution problems and what are clock distribution problems? Here it is first one, power distribution problems. How we can minimize power distribution, what are power distribution problems are we going to discuss. Right? Power distribution problems. It is required to design global power distribution network. It is required to design global power distribution network that runs both VDD and VSS entirely in a metal. VDD means here VDD and VSS both supply and ground. It is required to design global power distribution network that runs both supply and ground entirely in a metal. It is essential that to size wires properly. Power distribution. Now we are going to discuss power distribution problems. It creates several problems. We are going to discuss the several problems are: it is required to design global power distribution network that runs both the source and ground entirely in a metal. It is essential that to size the wires properly. It must ensure that a transient behavior of power distribution network does not cause problems for the logic to which it supplies current. These are the power distribution problems. All these 3 are the power distribution problems. What are these 3 points means? These 3 points are the power distribution problems. While considering all problems, it is required to handle 2 types of the power losses. These three are the power distribution problems. We have 2 types of power supply losses. Those are IR drop from steady state current and L drops from transient current. Here L drop means inductance drop from transient current. And it is also one of the problem. Metal migration and wire sizing. If a large amount of current is carried through a wire, what will happen? Wire gets damaged. Power lines are usually routed as trees with power supply at the root and logic gets connected to the twigs. Here what we are going to discuss means power distribution problems. What are power distribution problems means? These 3 are the power distribution problems. Here we have 2 types of the power supply losses also there. Those are IR drops from steady state current and L drop from transient current. And another one is a metal migration problem. It is very important problem. Metal migration problem. Metal migration is not only the problem in power supply distribution. Actually, large currents don't cause metal migration. They still cause power supply noise. Metal migration means it can cause the noise due to the impedance drop. We have three types of the, it is also one of the power supply problem, metal migration. It is also one of the problem. It actually causes the noise due to impedance drop. These three are the problems, these three are the losses. It is also one of the important problem in power distribution challenges. And next one is power supply transients. What are power supply transients? It is necessary to know about power supply transients. What are power supply transients means? It causes errors in the operation of a logic. It can causes the errors in the operation of a logic. If the electrical characteristics of the power supply network are not carefully designed, then transients in the power can cause errors in the operation of the logic. What are power supply transients means? Simply remember, it can causes in the operation of the logics. Next, power distribution grids. In large chip, power is distributed using several metal layers. We have in large chip, power is distributed using several metal layers. Power is distributed using several metal layers. Upper layers have larger width and height. The layers close to silicon are smaller. In a power distribution grid, we are going to discuss about power distribution grid. In a power distribution grid, each layer is interdesignated with alternating VDD and VSS lines. In here, multiple layers will be there. Upper layers have larger width. The layers closer to silicon are the smaller, right? In a power distribution grid, each layer is interdesignated with alternating VDD and VSS lines. Decoupling capacitors. These are used in the PCBs. PCBs means printed circuit board. We have already know about PCBs. These are used in the PCBs designed to reduce the noise. Why we can use the decoupling capacitors means in order to reduce the power supply noise. We have to use decoupling capacitors in the PCBs design. Here it is the behavior of the decoupling capacitor. Here it is a decoupling capacitor. See here it is a decoupling capacitor. It is the power supply. It is the load. It is simple network. It is the resistor. And here it is the inductor. Next one. We have discussed about power distribution challenges. Now we are going to discuss about clock distribution challenges. We have mainly two types of problems: power distribution problems, clock distribution problems. We have completed the power distribution problems. Now we are entering into clock distribution problems. Clock distribution problems. The major problems in the clock distribution are clock skew and capacitance. Clock skew and capacitance. We had already know about capacitance. Let us discuss what is clock skew. These are the problems involved in the clock distribution. These two are the problems. What is clock skew? In circuit designs, clock skew is a phenomena in which the same sourced clock signal arrives at different components at a different time. It may sometimes clock skew may be asked for 2 marks. What is clock skew means? The same clock arrives at different components at different times. Same clock arrives at different components at different times. Nothing but clock skew. Clock skew is one of the problem. And next one is how we can minimize the clock distribution problems. These two, how we can minimize the clock distribution challenges means what are clock distribution challenges, clock skew and capacitance. How we can minimize the clock distribution challenges means by using two complementary ways. So the ways are physical design and circuit design. In this design, layout can be designed to make more clock delays and more even. And next one is circuit design. In this, circuits driving the clock distribution network can be designed to minimize delays using several stages of the drivers. And next one is physical design. Here it is. The most Two common ways of physical clocking networks are H-tree and balanced tree. While considering the physical design, we have to consider the two most common ways of the physical clocking networks. There are H-tree and balanced tree. Now we are going to discuss one by one. What is H-tree and what is balanced tree? What is H-tree? The width of the wires in the H-tree can be adjusted to equalize the skew throughout the H-tree. Buffers can also be added in H-tree network to increase the driving capability. Why these are necessary means H-tree and balanced tree. In order to remove the problems like clock, skew, capacitance, we can require these two trees, H-tree and balanced tree. Now we are going to discuss about the structure of H-tree. It is a simple structure of the H-tree. See here, it is the structure of H-tree. And next one is balanced tree. What is balanced tree? Here, in a balanced tree, memory elements are clustered in the form of groups. Memory elements are clustered into groups. The clustering is used to guide placement, and clocking tree is then synthesized based on skew information. The tree shape is irregular. The shape of the balanced tree is irregular shape. It has a irregular shape. In this balanced tree, memory elements are clustered into groups. See the structure of balanced tree. It is the simple structure of the balanced tree. See here, all these are memory elements. Memory elements are clustered in the form of groups like this. It is first group, second group, third group, fourth group, fifth group. See, memory elements are clustered in the form of groups, 5 different groups. Here the shape is irregular shape. Next one is the driver circuit. Two methods that are used to distribute the clock. How we can distribute the clock? Driving the entire load from a single point using a driver chain. Distributing drivers through clock wiring, forming a hierarchical clock distribution network system. Hierarchical clock distribution network system. Sometimes it is also called a hierarchical CDS. CDS means clock distribution system. We can discuss about what is hierarchical system. The hierarchical system is used, what will happen? If a hierarchical system is used, resistance and capacitance of the clock wiring to be analyzed in order to determine the point at which buffers should be inserted, since the drivers will probably inverting. Always the driver circuits will be in inverting manner. See here the structure of hierarchical clock distribution tree. All these are here. All these are the drivers. All these drivers in the form of inverters, right? And last one is power routing. It is one of a leftover topic in routing. That is power routing. What is power routing? It is a special topic. It is a special case of the routing. The sizes of the power bus are determined based on the carrying current. Power bus. Power bus is damaged, high amount of current is introduced because of electromigration mechanism. Right? Power bus is damaged, high amount of current is induced because of electromigration mechanism. Calculation of desired size of power bus is estimated either by power simulation tool. How we can estimate the size of the power bus? By using different tool, that is power simulation tool. By using power simulation tool, we can calculate the size of the power bus. So if you are not using power distribution tool, means by running the software, also we can calculate the desired power of the power bus. Right? Thank you.